Hello Year 8 and welcome to your last lesson of this half term from our unit on population development and globalisation. Today we're going to be looking at how we can help people and countries develop. So we're going to hopefully by the end of the lesson be able to give some examples of NGOs, which are known as non-governmental organisations. We're also going to be able to describe the aims of some of these NGOs and also be able to explain the impact of NGOs on people's lives and development of countries. So the first thing I would like you to have a think about is have a look at these logos. Can you recognise any of these? Do you know what they are for? What company or what NGO are they related to? So have a little moment, see if maybe somebody else in your household knows what they are and what they represent. And while you're having a think, also copy down the keyword NGO, which, as I've already mentioned, is a non-governmental organisation. These tend to be charities which help people and countries. They are independent of the government, so they rely on fundraising in order to make money, such as Oxfam. So this is what I would like us to be able to learn and understand in today's lesson. So hopefully between you and whoever you are working with at home, you might have understood that these are representing the following organisations. So we have Fairtrade, Oxfam, UNICEF and also WaterAid. So your first task today is I'd like you to please watch one, but you can also watch both of the videos linked, one or both of the videos linked to this slide. What you will see is the first video, which is 3 minutes long, is a short film about WaterAid and their simple and sustainable solutions to water and sanitation problems in developing countries. So water, obviously we understand that there are a lot of people, over 1 billion people in the world, without access to safe water. And there are more people, in fact, who do not have access to appropriate sanitation. So that's things like running water, but also flushing toilets and appropriate sewage systems. So think about how this is going to impact the development of different countries. And you can see from the map here that there are some countries, a lot of countries on the continent of Africa, but also in Asia and Southeast Asia that are being helped and supported by WaterAid. One of the things to remember is that when people have access to water and when people have access to safe water, development does tend to then begin. So watch the two videos or pick one of them to watch, as this will then help you with the tasks on the next slide. So task 2 is I would like you now to answer the questions about WaterAid below. Use all the information from this slide, but also the information from the videos on the previous slide to help you. If you're watching this on YouTube, I have linked both of these videos and one later on in the lesson to the comment section of this YouTube clip. So please do make sure you click on those, but they're also all available to click on from your Satchel One upload. So this will be the first task that you're going to submit to your teacher this week. So please make sure you answer these questions in as much detail as possible. So the first one says, what is WaterAid? So hopefully from watching the videos on the previous slide, you now have a good understanding of what WaterAid is. The next one says, how does WaterAid help? What do WaterAid do in order to help people in some of the world's poorest communities? And then what are the best things about WaterAid? So what are the benefits of WaterAid? That would be a word that we would use when describing the positives or the best things about something would be benefits. There's also a challenge here. Now, there's nothing to stop you doing the challenge, but I would like you to really think carefully about this. It says, describe how WaterAid can help a child in a poor country. So I'd like you please to watch this. Now, sometimes WaterAid has referred to water as liquid gold. They believe it's more valuable than any other resource on this earth. So I'd like you to think carefully, if a child in a developing country has access to safe water, how will that help them in the long term? When they don't have access to safe water, how is this holding them back? Now, the second NGO, non-governmental organisation, that I would like you to learn about is Fairtrade. So you've probably seen this logo on some food that you might buy, on a bar of dairy milk maybe, on your tea or your bananas that you buy in the supermarket. This logo means something very specific, and it means that the farmers producing these products are getting a fair price for their products. They aren't being exploited, and it will cut out the middleman, and it will basically mean that farmers in the poorest countries in the world are getting a fair price for the food that they are farming. So I would really like you to again watch this video, also linked in the comment section on YouTube, but also linked in your Satchel One homework. I'd like you to watch this, and again I'd like you to answer these questions in as much detail as possible. So fair trade is, so finishing off the sentences, what is fair trade? What are the benefits of fair trade? What are some examples of fair trade products? So you can see some in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. And where can you buy these fair trade products? Okay, is it easy for you to get your hands on them? Maybe you might think that not everyone will buy fair trade products, and that's something for you to think about. Why do you think that might be? And what do you think would persuade people to buy fair trade products over anything else? So I'd like you to have a go at all of these tasks, and as with the one previously, I'd like you to submit these with all of your work at the end of the lesson to your class teacher. So here we have even more information about fair trade. It goes through how the world market works, so the idea of supply and demand and how that can impact farmers in poorer countries. It also looks at the process of fair trade coffee. So it shows you that a coffee company and a group of coffee farmers decide to work together. They agree a fair price for the coffee that gives the farmers a decent living and adds some extra money. The company pays some of the money in advance before the harvest so that the farmers won't run short. This is a problem with products that aren't fair trade, is that the farmers might go months and months of the year without making any money at all. They can also then be exploited by companies who then offer them very little for their produce. But when you are being offered very little, sometimes that is better than nothing at all. So they're almost forced into taking it. Fair trade tries to take all of this out of the situation and provides the farmers with a fair price and allowing them to have a decent quality of life. So you can have a read of all of this information here, and then we move on to the plenary. So it says there are many ways of helping people in poor countries. Which one is the best in your opinion? So do you think that WaterAid, okay, maybe installing safe water, is one of the best ways of helping people in poor countries? So think about the benefits and the ripple effect of what happens if a community then has access to safe water. I'd also like you to consider what we've talked about regarding fair trade. Maybe as well you might consider education being the most important thing to help a country develop. However, one problem, you might have the best education in the world, but if your children in your community cannot go to school because they have to spend the day collecting water, then that is going to be a problem. And then finally, healthcare. Do you think ensuring that everybody has access to good, free, easy to access healthcare, is that maybe going to be the most important? So if it was your decision and you were trying to help poor countries, developing countries in the world, what do you think you would do? So please do write a paragraph or two answering this question and submit this also to your class teacher. Well done to all of you for completing such brilliant work this half term. Next half term, we're going to move on to our new unit of work on Asia. So aspiring Asia is what we're going to be moving on to after February half term. We look forward to seeing you all again soon.